Hello and welcome to episode 136 of Nolo Time. My name is Ovid Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good, Nolo Time? Good to be back with you again. Many of you know, obviously, last week, Obed, we took our week off last week just out of respect. And so this week we're back, and man, do we have stuff.
I know we had stuff earlier.
Yeah.
You guys may want to check our YouTube channel. So Joel and I were able to record a live reaction to the PS5 reveal, basically the games reveal and the console reveal that happened today. Joel's gonna go ahead and clip that reaction
Yeah.
and put it out on the social because it was pretty good. We'll definitely talk about that in depth here in a few minutes. But Joel, what's going on, man?
Yeah, dude, double the content today. You
Twice
guys
the
get
fall,
you.
double the content, twice the fall.
Oh, I love the
Oh,
Star Wars references. Continue. Oh, you guys gotta love it. No, seriously, if you look at if you were guys were to have an inside scoop on Obed and I's communication, like on a weekly basis, we're sending Star Wars stuff back and forth. That's just
we
sorry. Like
we
we're Star
we
Wars
we,
guys.
we communicate through Star Wars memes, basically.
Yes, and
Yeah, yeah.
it makes better understanding sometimes of things through Star Wars. But yeah, no, man, I'm doing great. Speaking of Star Wars, so the other day I wanted to have something playing in the background while I was taking care of something, right? And I was going through TV, going through channels on TV, right? And I come across on Disney XD. I don't watch Disney XD. It's a channel, right? But I get across on there and I see Star Wars and Phineas and Ferb. And I didn't realize that there was like a Phineas and Ferb Star Wars thing from
It's
a while
really
ago.
good.
Dude,
It's
I
really
played that.
good.
Hilarious, dude.
Yeah,
Hilarious. So there's a Marvel one too. So I
I
queued
haven't
that on
seen
my
that
Disney
one.
Plus
Okay,
because I'm like, I
uh,
gotta check that out.
man, Phineas and Ferb is probably the best written kids show ever.
It's hilarious,
It's
dude. I was
really freaking
laughing.
good, dude.
Yeah, no, it's good. So that was a fun little. So for you Star Wars guys, let's throw that out there. If you have Disney Plus, check it out on there. If you have Disney XD, definitely check that one out. And I'll probably check out the Marvel one soon. The Mandalorian Disney Gallery finished that out on Disney Plus. That was a great insight for that series, The Mandalorian. I
I
think
watched.
they're
I went back. I actually started. I watched the first episode last week.
Yeah, first episode's
Yeah,
good, but the second episode is when you get the amazing Dave Filoni
yeah.
just
Just,
like
just dropping
preaching to us.
the bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's like the Dave Filoni moment that you get in the episode 2 is great. But I think every episode I really enjoyed, but there were certain ones that really had moments that stood out for me more, especially when you get into once it's episode 5, just before the last episode 6, and episode 5, you have the technology episode, and what they were able to do. I don't want like you'll see it, but like what they were able to do with screens, where you thought a lot of times it was green screen or blue screen, they use literal LED panels, create an entire LED room. So when they're walking or flying in space, it's not digitally added in. No, it was actual real screens in front of them. And I just love that for the sake of both the acting authenticity, people felt like they were in the actual scenes, and then just from the standpoint of technological advancements. I thought that was really spectacular. Mandalorian really pushed the boundary. And
Yeah.
apparently, they were the first to make that kind of a room for cinema. So it's pretty cool.
Did they talk about Unreal Engine
Yes,
and how
yes,
it
yes.
basically everything's generated? Yeah.
Straight up, dude. I was
Yeah.
watching. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like the Unreal Engine 5 demo I was watching the
Yeah.
other day, dude.
Yeah.
Of the amount of incredible stuff they can do.
Yeah, I forgot about it. And then I saw another article recently. But I did hear that basically what like a lot of the effects that they were doing, most of the like the background effects
Right.
and the landscape and all that, it's basically it like real time generated on UE4, and then it looks seamless.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
because of the of it being just generated real time, it just like instead of being pre-rendered like what you get with a movie, it just for some reason it just looks really natural. It's weird,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's really interesting.
No, it's interesting for sure. I appreciated that. It's I definitely recommend it for people to go back. Those that have Disney Plus, if you've already seen The Mandalorian, go and watch the Disney Plus series, especially the episode 2 when you get the Dave Filoni preaching to us, and when you get episode 5 on the technology. Just those are 2 episodes that, as a Star Wars fan, you would just absolutely eat it up and just enjoy it. And these episodes are only like 20-25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes on some of them. They're really short. You can catch it really quick, so they're great. Um, Staying up to date actually on Stargirl, dude. This is not bad. Like Stargirl's
I,
actually
s-
not bad,
I,
dude.
I was.
Stargirl's
It's good.
yeah, it's actually good. Like it's not
Interesting.
like it's like family friendly and it's not like super cheesy. It takes itself in the right way. The pacing super good. Like if it was
Uh,
there's a one okay, so the last episode that came out, if the same character would have been on Titans, you would have probably had to have waited 3 episodes to see what this character does, where they actually develop and become a hero, right? Where like on Stargirl, they keep the pacing quite well. Still waiting to see more Grundy. I think I mentioned that before in the past.
you did, yeah,
Waiting on that, man, because
yeah,
they teased us. They made it in the dark, so you couldn't really see his face, and those CGI hiding it. But I look
yeah.
forward to seeing more.
So I was scrolling around TV on Sunday, and I saw that they were playing Stargirl on CW.
Really?
Yeah, yep.
What?
Yeah, I don't know which
That's
episode, but I was scrolling around and it was like DC's Stargirl, and it was interesting, and it was like an hour long episode or something like
really
that.
wow.
So
I didn't know
yeah,
that they were playing on there, but that's interesting to
yeah,
know.
it was Sunday. It was, I think, uh Supergirl spot on Sunday. It's
Mm,
Supergirl's on hiatus basically. Which, by
yeah,
the way, all those shows like start again tomorrow. Like the filming, Batman, the Batman movie, they start filming. I think they
yeah.
already restarted. And a lot of the shows, most of the actual shows, start and movies start back again tomorrow. So
Especially the one that really broke the rules and got back to right away was James Cameron's Avatar. That dude just instantly went right back into filming. Like this was like maybe a
oh
month
yeah,
ago,
yeah,
and people are now wearing masks and pictures, and they're just
yeah. What?
in swimming in pools. This guy, James Cameron,
He's probably has
he
the
plays by
vaccine
his own
anyway.
rules, man.
Yeah, he's probably got the vaccine anyway.
Yeah.
He probably created it himself. Like, yeah, that's how
Well,
Jim Cameron rolls like that. Yeah,
Walt Disney's still alive. He's been cloned.
Yeah, yeah,
Vaccine's
exactly.
been created.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's not frozen in carbonite anymore. Um,
And what you been up to, Obed, man?
well, I got a follow up to a story.
Ooh,
Um, a few weeks ago, I mentioned that I went and got Rise of Skywalker, the Target
yeah,
Collector's Edition, and my 4K Blu-ray version was busted. Basically, was defective, and Target was not doing any returns. Um, Target Online couldn't help me. Disney Online couldn't help me. So I was like, you know what? Whatever. Like at this point, I totally like had forgotten about it. And because the movie's on Disney Plus and it's
yeah,
on
you can watch it.
4K, I wasn't really salty. I mean, I was because I spend the money, right? Um, but I went to my local Target last week and I noticed that they had three back in stock, like three movies. Um, and I go over to customer service, it's like, hey, so were you guys doing returns again? It's like, oh yeah, we just started again like a couple days ago doing returns. It's like, oh, so like crazy story, right? I got this movie and then this thing, and I gave him the whole spiel of what happened. It's like, oh yeah, no worries, just bring it, and we'll swap it if we have it in stock. So about three. This was I think a Saturday. On Wednesday, or it was like Tuesday or Wednesday. I go over to Target. And I was like, all right, I'll pack the movie and I'll take it. I don't have the receipt. Whatever. They let him know. So I go to Target and I was like, hey, listen, so I guess one of you guys, and gave the girl the story again. I was like, oh, yeah, you can just go ahead and grab it, and then we'll exchange it. Okay, so I go to the back, I grab it, come back. It's like, oh yeah, and then I don't have the receipt and the other thing, just to just throw a wrench into your stuff. I paid using Apple Pay. Um, so they tried to scan the Apple Pay to see if they can find the transaction, and they couldn't find it. And the girl's like, well, because we know that you bought it here because it's a Target exclusive thing. It has the Target logo on it. We'll still go ahead and replace it. Um, but since you don't have the receipt, what we'll do is that we'll basically like open like a support ticket for you, and we'll issue a gift card for the amount of money that the movie costs, and we'll just give you the movie. It's like, okay, whatever works, right?
Right.
So
You're
so
still
yeah,
getting it.
I got another copy. They took the other defective one, and I got another copy. Great thing was that if this one's defective, I haven't watched it yet. They did give me a receipt, like a new sale receipt, because it was basically a new sale. So,
You have that receipt.
and I have that one. So there's that. So yeah, worked out pretty good. Other than that, nothing much on gaming. The more I play Final Fantasy VII, the more I love that game, even on hard mode, even as frustrating as it could get on hard mode. Um, Went played Battlefront because it's free on PS Plus. So the next day,
Yeah.
on Wednesday, I jumped in, right, and it was glorious. It's good.
All
It's
the
good.
noobs.
A lot of news. I think I played Saturday too, for a little bit, and Saturday was crazy because everyone was in there. Like people that I've played with like before,
You recognize.
like they're coming back. Yeah, because you recognize the names, right? So I was like, "Yo, world!" It's like, "Yo, we're all here," and noobs. So yeah, it was great. It was a great time, dude. All rooms were full. It was
Great.
fantastic. So great time with that. Um, Watched two movies of note that I want to talk about. First one is quite possibly the most disappointing sequel I've ever watched, and it was Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yeah.
That movie is so less, dude.
Yeah.
It is. It
It's a
is.
film.
It is not good. It's not good. I mean, it's not Transformers.
Right.
The was it last night or whatever bad, because that was like a whole nother level of bad.
Yeah.
But this is it's better than Age of Extinction. So you know what, it's, yeah, I mean, because it's a fair comparison to compare these movies with Transformers, right?
Sure.
But the first movie was so good. The Pacific Rim was just fantastic,
I
man.
know.
Movie was so good. This movie, if it wasn't for John Boyega, right, he carried the movie. Like he basically like dragged the movie's dead carcass across the
He
desert.
tried. He tried.
He tried, dude. Like, so props to him because he was the only good part in that movie.
So sad.
It was rough. It was rough. Also, like it had like giant like Massing Kaiser ripoffs. It's like
Yeah.
it's like if you're familiar with Massing Kaiser, it had moments like when Gypsy Avenger was fighting the other one, the Solar something, the other the Rogue uh, uh, frame or whatever they call it. I totally forgot. Um, that was like basically like Great Mazinger versus Mazinkaiser in front of the lab. Like, and then the end was a total ripoff from Mazinkaiser versus the General of Darkness, where Mazinkaiser's launched from orbital range and basically crashes next to freaking Mount Fuji and melts all the other, like the demon horde from the Hell Baron or whatever. Um, it's like, dude, it's like, are they gonna launch this thing into Mount Fuji to kill the thing like in the Meisenkaiser movie? I was like, nah, it sucked. It was just not good, man. I was so disappointed. I tried to like it. I
To
tried.
be honest, I even forgot I saw the movie because I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it at home. And I don't remember. I remember just like being very checked out of it. Like it just didn't.
It's
Didn't. It was like it was just
rough.
on like in the back. I couldn't connect to it. So.
I was gonna buy it last Black Friday. I'm glad I didn't because it was like that was a waste of $7. Could have bought a public sub with that.
Oh my
So
god.
yeah, just like definitely had a better time with public sub than eating that than watching that movie. Um,
Oh
but
man.
but uh, on the bright side, Joel, I watched a movie that I was very excited to watch, and I had very high hopes up for because everyone was hyping it. I finally watched Sonic the Hedgehog,
Oh yeah. Okay. I
and
need
I
to hear
and
this.
I am happy to report that I loved that movie.
I saw the movie a second time. Saw it recently again.
I loved it. I loved it. It was very good.
It's charming.
It's very charming, very heartfelt. Everyone's good in the movie. It's
Mm-hmm.
super family friendly.
Oh yeah.
It is like top notch family entertainment, dude.
It's
It
like
was
you don't see movies like that anymore.
no, not many. It was really good. It was really, really good. I really, yeah, yo, I'm talking about it and I'm getting excited.
Jim
Um,
Carrey's hilarious,
Jim Carrey is
dude.
good.
It's like he's back.
Dude, basically, I bet that they told Jim Carrey is like, all right, Jim Carrey's like, all right, so, how do you want me to do this? It's like, you be you, bro.
It feels that way. Like
Yeah,
Jim was Jim.
yep. It feels like Jim Carrey from Ace Ventura days.
Yes, like the good Jim Carrey
Yeah,
days.
because they gave him like you could do whatever you want, bro. I'm good. You're Jim Carrey.
There's some jokes, man. Some lines he delivers. That's just
I
great.
know. Yeah,
The
some of the
smartest guy in the room, and there's like
yeah.
so many
So
different things.
it's funny. He's really like Jim's really funny in the movie. Uh the dude that played Sonic, I forgot the name, Ben Schwartz. Yeah, he was good. Like Sonic was good. Liked it. I I I
What
loved it.
about that end credit scene?
Okay, so before I go into that, and we're gonna put the spoilers mark here, because I went in spoiler free to the movie, but I was like in my mind, I was like, I bet this is gonna be the end credit scene.
Makes sense.
Um, that Sega intro
Oh
at the
yeah.
beginning, dude, I'm telling you, bro, that my eyes teared up because we were talking about Sega on our last episode, and then I go watch this freaking intro, man. And it just like, oh my god! And there's Virtua Fighter, and there's Space Harrier, and Outrun, and Golden Axe, and Streets of Rage, and Yakuza, and everyone's here. I was like, God, and Persona, and I was like, yo, no, you guys are crazy.
But like it almost gives you the feelings of like a universe is being built, dude.
Yeah,
Like it felt very like Marvel Studios
it
esque, like to see
did.
Sega do that and to know how well this movie did for a quick thing. Like
You're totally right. I didn't cat. Yeah, yeah,
the
man. I
movie did
didn't
really
realize that.
good.
Yeah, I didn't realize that until now that you mentioned it, man, because it does feel like there's a universe to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, the first credit scene we've seen in the trailers, right?
Right.
Sorta with Robotnik and the Mushroom Planet, which is like it's funny because it's like was that supposed to be a reference to Mario or a reference to Sonic and Knuckles? Because the first level in Sonic and Knuckles is a mushroom level. But then Sonic is like, oh yeah, it's a mushroom planet, it's stinky, I hate mushrooms. It's like, yeah, it's like also a dips, to Mario and the Mushroom Kingdom, right? So you can take it both ways. So I think that was pretty clever. Um, and then at the end, it's like freaking Tails shows up. So it shows up looking for Sonic. I was like, yeah, it's Tails. And he looks like Tails. He looks like that. And my daughter was there and she freaked out. She's like, oh my God, Tails. He's like, I
Well, look, so
knew it.
the character design is solid because I know that was issues
Yeah.
with the original Sonic character
I
design.
want to see.
They've
I want to
corrected
see
that.
the original character design for Tails. Well,
Yeah.
that would have been, yeah. Um, but yeah, it's like I kind of knew that it was coming, but my daughter's like, oh my gosh, it was great. It was great. It was
That's
super cute.
awesome. That's awesome, man.
Um, I loved it. I loved it, Joe. I really, really like that movie.
And probably Jim signed on for multiple movies.
Well, they last week they announced a sequel that the sequel is basically greenlit. Jim Carrey said already, it was like, oh, this is like the best time I've had in a movie in like freaking 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're basically like cutting him loose and do whatever he wants to do. Um, and and Jim has I think is it a younger son or a grandson
Yeah, I think
that
it was
he
a son.
has,
Yeah.
and he's trying to make movies for him, basically for the little kid, and
Right.
that's gonna um I think that's great, and basically gives him focus, and uh I loved it, dude. I really, really loved it, man. And I'm so happy that he turned out like, dude, this is like by a mile. I mean, the best video game movie out there, like
Yeah.
by a mile, bro. Like you don't have to, like there's no like I think about it, right? And it's like there's nothing that come close to like a
And
live
I did
action video game
not
movie.
feel this way the first time I heard this movie was in the works and I saw the
The
poster or whatever
and the
for it.
ugly Sonic,
I was
yeah,
like, oh boy. The trailer
yeah,
wasn't bad. That's when I started
yeah.
getting onto it a little bit. But
But the
yeah,
movie was
completely
so
blown away.
charming. It was so good. That I mean, nothing but positive stuff to say about the movie. It was good. It was good. Um, yeah, yeah. All right. You wanna jump into the big stuff first and do the rest later?
Sure, take it away.
All right. So today we had our reveal of the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition. Let's put that out there. Um, I bet that when that thing showed up next to the PS5 with the disc drive, someone at GameStop probably had a heart attack. Um, but yeah, I mean, we finally get to see the console. Um, at first, I was very mixed. I was like, oh, this looks weird, and I don't know. It's growing on me. Like the controller right away when I saw it, I really liked, right? Um, but the console was like the first impression of it was really weird, but it's growing on me. The other thing that of note is that apparently this is a long boy console. There's size comparisons already with the Xbox One Series, the Xbox the
Oh
Xbox Series
no.
X. Joe, it's come on, Microsoft.
Bad naming.
Um, and the PS4 Pro, and this looks like it's a pretty long console,
Yeah.
longer than the usual console. This looks like the size of a premium Blu-ray player or an AV
Yeah.
receiver or something. And I'm talking about the width of it. Um, let's start with that since we're talking about the some of the console. Um, I really like that headset they showed. The premium Pulse 3D headset. I'm indifferent towards the remote, and I think the camera looks like a little tiny tech taco, and I like it. So overall, I really I was mixed at the beginning. I feel a lot more comfortable now. I like it like quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm with you on the sense that it has started to grow on me, but I still want to refrain from giving full judgment. It's hard. Like usually my reaction's pretty like solid based on a picture. Usually like especially for these kinds of things, for hardware, I can look at the picture and know how I feel about it
Yep,
just by that. This is one of those things that I actually feel like I'll have a better comprehension of how I feel about the design when I see it in person.
I agree.
Um, like seeing the picture, seeing what we saw today, it's not offensive. It's nothing that's like this is crazy. What have you done? Or
I know.
it's
Yeah,
different in a negative way. It's just different, I think, because there's like an expectation of like identifiable. This is the PlayStation. There's another PlayStation console. We're used to dark consoles, black, or gray, right? Like something very dark. And then we already had the controller being white, and obviously, so that was kind of leading us on to that the console is going to be white. But like PS4 is a very I don't want to say safe design, but very simple, very sleek. It's recognizable in that way, right? And even the Xbox Series X new console, like even though I'm not crazy about the design of it, it's still very like clean. It's not anything, I don't want to say crazy, but anything that's abnormal really about it, aside from just the general like that layout of it that doesn't look like a console, looks like a computer, right?
Yeah.
But looking at this, it's like, okay, it's a console, but it looks like, the more and more I look at it, I'm like, it looks like a console of the future. Like, are we ready for this now? But we
That's
are getting it now.
so this looks like a concept for a PS3, because the PS3
Right,
was
like
kind of crazy and it had,
a prototype.
exactly, it looks like a prototype. Um, I appreciate the boldness of their design choices on this thing.
It's like, are we gonna find out later on that like Elon Musk like designed this or something? It looks like a spaceship,
I
dude.
know it kind of
I'm
looks like
okay with
something Elon
that.
Musk would
Yeah,
design for real. Yeah. Um, I think that I don't know if this was designed by the same designer that the PS4
yeah. I'd be
was used.
curious.
Yeah, I think the PS4, the original PS4, is probably, in my opinion, one of the nicest consoles out there, like ever.
Super
Um,
clean.
I think that, and the Xbox One X. I think the Xbox One X is a very well designed machine, and it's very aesthetically pleasing uh, device. So I appreciate them not going with the sterile box symmetrical thing, because if you look at it, everything's like that. Like all Apple devices are basically symmetrical boxes. All, like now the Xbox is all symmetrical stuff. Like now with the Series X, basically um, PC cases. Like if you look at the most popular PC cases, like the most popular PC case out there is probably the NCXT H1 510 right now. Um, and those NCXT cases, the 500 series, are basically like square symmetrical things. Um, they're popular because they look really nice and they look really clean. Um, but they don't look futuristic. This looks like one of those companies that was taking a risk back in the early 2000s with making a futuristic looking product in the year 2000. So this is probably Jim Ryan going to the designer and say, it's freaking 2020, just design something out of the Jetsons or something. And
Yeah, it's
that's what they did.
futuristic.
It's very, yeah. And I mean, I designed the bold choice in the design for sure. Things of note from what we can see in the console, it does have a regular USB Type A and a Type C up at the front. We do not see the back of the device
Yeah.
at all in this view. They do have a vertical stand, and I did see a
Yes.
horizontal stand that they did not show. Now, will one of them be included, either the vertical or the horizontal? Because I need to know. Because I don't want to spend
Yeah.
another $25 on a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I'm planning to use it horizontal. I don't want to spend the money for
Did
me
you
to
see
be able
how it
to use the
looks when
device.
it's horizontal though?
Looks really cool.
It's super cool.
Like that's what won me, because like we saw the vertical and I wasn't really sold on the vertical, right? But when I saw the horizontal, it's like, oh yeah, that now that it's speaking to me now. Um, so this looks like a Dyson device, like
True.
the Dyson like
Mm-hmm.
fan and the vacuum cleaner and the hair curler and all that, the weird stuff that they make now.
Yeah.
That it looks like something designed by Dyson. Eh, I like it. I like it. Like it was shocking at the beginning. I was like I wasn't feeling it, but then when I saw the horizontal one, it's like that makes sense.
Yeah,
Excuse
I
me.
can't wait to see it in person. That's my thing.
No, that being said, I I think, Joe, and I'm gonna say something like hold on to your butt right here.
Go bold.
I think, and this is coming from me, right, an old school gamer who enjoys buying crap. I like the all digital better than the one with the disc,
Aesthetically or how so?
aesthetically.
Okay.
Like I prefer how it looks without the tumor on it. It's not a tumor. Um, I prefer the looks of like the like cleanness of that design, right? Um, I
Mm.
wonder if Sony is gonna do like if they do Horizon, right? Are they gonna do a Horizon Zero Dawn or not Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon the Forbidden West, Forbidden West? If they're gonna do a special edition of that or a collector's edition, excuse me. I wonder if they're gonna do a digital version of the collector's edition where you get instead of getting a game disc, you get a code, and but you get the rest of the crap that comes with it, right? Um, I don't know. I like the no disc thing. I kind of
And
like it.
and the
Oh
thing is, like, unless you're trying to make your PlayStation your all-in-one media device, which they always have those possibilities, like, you already have a 4K Blu-ray player, like you and I both
yeah,
have. So most people, I think that's what they're thinking. Like most people have that. Just give them a digital option, like
yeah,
Netflix and whatever.
yeah. What I feel is that they're gonna make a push that is gonna be another like all in one device.
Mm.
Because they're having their own separate remote.
Mm-hmm.
They're pushing the Blu-ray, the 4K Blu-ray as a feature. So I think they're gonna make the move, like another PS3 sort of push for it. So I kind of feel that.
Which I'm okay with that because I really love that about PS3. Like, actually, I was one of those strange people that took my thumb drive, copied stuff off
Me
my
too.
computer, plugged it right into my
Absolutely.
PS3, and watched videos, looked at photos, had music, whatever it was. I did it
Yep.
all on my PS3.
I have a ton of photos still on my PS3, old photos.
Yeah.
Very old because I mean I stopped using the photo thing like in like 2011, but there's a bunch of photos there. Tons of music because I used to go to the library, just get the CDs from the library, just rip them on the
Oh.
PS3. So I got a ton of music in there.
God.
It's um, and as a media device, it was probably the best thing out there. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah,
No, it was great.
yeah. So, things of note before we jump into the games. No mention of backwards compatibility at all. That's interesting. I mean, that I'm assuming that they're just focusing on new stuff that's coming out on PS5 only.
Does it not
Um,
exist? I mean,
it exists. It's there. It's just that it's something that they're not mentioning at the moment because it's like what Jim Ryan said is like we they believe in generational leaps, right? Um, and at this point, the Xbox Series X is more like upgrading your video card on your computer,
hmm.
and they have a different approach, and that's good. That's good. They can definitely do that. Um, yeah. Um, I'm not gonna get it this year because there's no Metal Gear at on release. I told you that was gonna be the thing,
I'm
right?
conflicted,
You're
man.
conflicted
I'm
because the first game they showed, and I'm not gonna talk about GTA, was Spider-Man Miles Morales. And
I you guys can see my reaction on the video, but dude, I'm like holding my head because it feels like it's gonna explode, and I'm just like, is this really happening? Because first, guess you said Infamous. I was like, I wasn't so sure at first. I was like, okay, the electrical, and then maybe, and then oh boy, here it is. You start to see the Spidey suit come in there. Oh, and not only is it Spidey, it's Miles Morales, the Spidey, which, like you and I said, probably was DLC that was gonna be for Spider-Man. Instead, they moved that into making it its own game, but that's enough to make me want to have this thing day one because I
yeah,
would play the heck out of that.
yeah, I think I when I saw it, I was like, Joel's gonna get it this year. Well, here's
Then
what we can
Obed's
do,
gonna have to come over to my place, and we're
and
just gonna have to just
I-
go
I'm,
at it, man.
I'm gonna have to see it in person,
It's gonna have to
and then
happen.
buy it next year or whenever. But yeah, they showed some gameplay of that's coming out at the end of the year. I mean, we're assuming that this is coming day one because they say the holiday 2020,
Yeah.
which is the holiday 2020 right now is when they say the console will release. So we're assuming this is a day one game. That's a pretty big day one game, dude.
Huge.
Like for PlayStation. I know that Xbox, based on what we've heard, the Halo Infinite's coming out day one, and it's also coming out for the Xbox One, not just the Series X. Versus this is a PS5 game. Based on what we know, this is not coming out on PS4. Based on what we know, nothing is coming out on PS4 except for GTA 5.
That's a good point. Nothing else was said. It's just guesstimates.
Yep. It looks very good. Looks very good. Yeah.
It's a strong way to start the show.
It was super strong. It's too strong. I see. And again, if it would have been Horizon Zero Dawn, but it looks like Horizon Zero Dawn is probably a year and a half away.
Right.
I would have made the case to get a PS5 this year.
It's like an act of Congress in Ovid's house.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I have to pass it through several stages of approval, and negotiation. Sometimes the negotiations never take place. Yeah. So, but I think I think I'll wait it out for next year and see what's up. So you can be my beta tester.
Yeah, for sure. Obed's coming over for Christmas. That's what we're gonna do. PS5.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. The other thing that I want to talk about is Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah.
Because it looked really good. So Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is probably a riff on Rip Apart. It's like, because we know the inside jokes with Ratchet. But to me, this was like the showcase piece, Joe, because I think this is the day one release as well.
Yes.
And it looked really good. And it also is a game that that you can tell has a next gen feature, which is basically it seamlessly switching worlds. Like you can switch maps. You don't have to get on your ship, fly to the other level, watch a loading screen while your ship flies around. Basically, they showed that you can definitely like the feature, that no time feature that Sony's been talking about. It's real, and yeah, looks really good. They showed ray tracing. It looks like a Pixar movie, dude. Like it really does look like a Pixar movie that you can play. Even like going back to the Ratchet and Clank on PS4, that to me looked better. Like looks better than most CG movies.
For sure.
To be honest with you, like when you use HDR on that game, that looks better than most CG movies. Like honestly speaking, right? Which is a fun game. You guys should check it out. It's like super cheap out there. They showed the ray tracing tech on the reflections and the weapons on the game. Very cool stuff. Again, it looks really good. Not much to say there, and again, I think this is gonna be a day one. Next one is Gran Turismo 7. No date. I thought that this was gonna be a release title, but them not putting a date on it makes me think that that they're going to try and release it and have it ready for a release date, but they may wait it out. I know that when a PS2 came out, that Gran Turismo 3 A spec came out. That was basically like a tech demo for what they were doing. It was incomplete. They had to like ship it like that because they wanted to ship a Gran Turismo game. I remember that, and I don't think that's going to be the case with this one. So if they're not ready, I don't think they're going to release. So, but yeah, Joel, Gran Turismo.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. You mentioned during our live reaction, you're like, well, I think this is going to be the way that they try to keep in the game with Forza, because that's been like a huge pinnacle for Xbox and for the console racing games. It's been Forza's pretty solid.
They've been killing it, yeah.
They've been killing it. So, obviously Gran Turismo has its following, but like to your point earlier, it's been it takes a long time for them to put these games out, understandably. But for sure, making that push for a console that's been in the works for a while, why not push this along to be beside it? Yeah, it looked good. We got gameplay. That was a
Okay.
pretty cool moment, just to see what to expect. I mean, looking at most of this stuff, it's like the way you feel about any generational transition. You can sense that this is still all being figured out,
Yeah,
but for what we saw, looked nice.
look nice for sure. Um, Other game we saw of note is Returnal. This was a new franchise
That was cool.
owned by yep, owned by PlayStation Studios and developed by Housemark. Housemark being the developers of Resogun and all
That
the
was
uh,
good.
all this type of arcade shooters. Resogun is a fantastic game.
Mm-hmm.
Even on the Vita, where it runs, it doesn't run poorly, but it runs at a solid 30. But it's still a lot of fun. Resogun was probably the best launch title for PS4. Uh, and them having to PlayStation having them come back with a new franchise and a big project because Resogun and this other games that Housemark did um, were smaller arcade type games. Um, this looks like a full blown AAA title, and yeah, it's good to see that Housemark is moving up. Not that those games were bad. Like I said,
No, no.
Resogun is probably the best. Launch title on PS4. The other game they did with the guy that did Robotron was really good. I forgot the name of it. Is something X? Is it Ex Machina? I think it may be Ex Machina. Anyhow, so yeah, well, pretty good stuff. Square Enix. There were some bold predictions out there. None of them were true. Um, but they did show their next project, which is Project Athia, and this is being done by Luminous Productions. Luminous Productions is the studio within Square Enix that did Final Fantasy 15. So this may be Final Fantasy 16, but we really don't know.
Mm.
Um, they're saying that it is an exclusive PS5 game. But yeah, Joel, not much to say here. It looked more of a concept trailer.
Yeah, watching that was just really just them teasing. They didn't spend much time at all on it. Not much to really understand for what it is, but it's cool to see that these guys are involved in next gen and that we actually got to see something, even if something was just a glimpse, to fully not make sense of what it is, but I'm sure it will make sense much later. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was good.
Yep. Um, Hitman 3 coming out January 2021. So this is going to be basically a culmination of that trilogy that IO Interactive started with the episodical Hitman. So not much to say there. I mean, you said in the trailer itself look like Assassin's Creed,
It did.
but it looked far along. It looked pretty far along. It's just that the I think the slightest they show was not great, but the trailer was good. Little Big Planet is back, but not in the usual way. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. It is a 3D platformer developed by Sumo Digital, who did Little Big Planet 3, and they did the Sonic Team Racing and the Sonic All Star Racing games before that. They also developed or finalized development in Crackdown 3. So, um, yeah, that game did come out. So, um, but yeah, Little Big Planet platformer, Joel. That's pretty interesting.
Yep, I mentioned to you also that I'm a pretty big fan of Little Big Planet. I played the first one, played the second one, and the third one. I played all three, and I've been a fan of that. So to see that they actually went ahead and brought that back for launch, I thought was a really great idea. And Sackboy looks great, like just
Yeah,
the materials and again the world. you mentioned it there. Just in general, the way the entire layout of the game is completely different. It looks like a actual full fledged game, not just independent game that was being built. So it's quite nice. I look forward to actually playing it because this is one of those games that I will like. If I get PS5, this is one of the games I will actually go out of my way to purchase. Out of the list, there's like probably 4 games that I was like, yeah, for sure, I get these. But yeah, I mean,
Forget 4 copies of Spider-Man.
right. Just in
there's
case,
there's 4 games I
one
would get.
breaks, knock the
Spider-Man.
next one.
I get Spider-Man. I get Spider-Man Collector's Edition. I buy Spider-Man Digital, and I'll get a used copy. There you go.
Just be sure.
Just be sure. Um, Shinji Mikami showed up and showed up gameplay of Ghostwire Tokyo, a game that I thought was actually canceled because this was the game that Ikumi Nakamura was working on, and she is basically Shinji Mikami's protege. I thought this game was gonna be canceled, but no, they showed gameplay. The game's going out next year, so it looked very interesting.
Yeah, that was one of those ones that I was like, okay, this is a pretty creative
Yeah.
creative look. Like, I had not seen anything from what this game was. And you said that you thought it was canceled. I don't know how much you knew about it before that, but
Uh,
it was my first really glimpse at what it was.
so after the event, uh, I went to watch the IGN reactions, and based on what they said, this game is a PS4 console exclusive. So it's coming out for PS4 and PC, basically. Um, Interesting if they're actually able to
Yeah.
secure this. So, so that's it's a pretty big get if you ask me. Resident Evil 8 Village, that looked really good. That looked next gen. That for sure. So that looked cool. Again, I'm not sure if that's going to be a cross-gen game. Maybe some of the third-party stuff, like we mentioned, like RE 8, even maybe like Ghostwire. This game's main did be cross-gen. They'd be maybe on PS4 and PS5. I know that the first-party stuff is not going to be on PS4, but some of this third-party stuff may come out to PS4. They're not gonna alienate 107 million consoles that are out there, or whatever, how many ever they've sold. So yeah. Game of the show goes to Bugs Next. So Bugs Next, a game by the creators of Octodad, and it looked like a a weird, funky game. There's one game that I want to mention. Um, and was it? And I don't see it here on this list that I have. Did I miss it? It's was it called the Devil Inside or Little Devil Inside?
Lil Devil.
Little Devil is so that looked Little Devil Inside. Yep. That looked very interesting. It is sort of this funny, sort of quirky adventure action game. Um, I don't know, something about it. There's something about that trailer, Joel. Um, so I really wanted to uh, talk about that. And we saw some stuff. We saw Kenna Bridge to Spirits. Looks like an adventure game, a Zelda style adventure game. Looked really good too. Really good art design. Astro's Playroom is basically like an Astrobot sequel, and that looked really good too. Astrobot is being, it's a fantastic game, very well received out there for PSVR. The other big one was Deathloop by Arcane. This is basically a successor to the Dishonored series that looked very good too. Very interesting art design. Looks like a more mature type of gameplay experience there. But it looked really good as well. And we saw a little bit of NBA 2K21. we only saw Zion doing a dunk, and that was it.
And
So
him
not much.
sweating, which looked
Yeah,
really
Sweat
cool.
Tech, Sweat
Sweat
Tech is
tech.
the yeah. But they did. It does look like they worked on their face tech too.
Yes.
Because that was, I know that there was a big problem with with the previous 2K iterations where that face tech is not, it's not too great. So it looks like they really worked on that. The other one is the first game that we saw last year for PS5 was Godfall. That game being developed by a studio called Counterplay, put out by Gearbox. Other than that, I mean, they did show a couple of indies here and there, but that's, I think that's the meat of it. Overall, I think it was a really strong showing. Um, Probably stronger than when the PS4 was revealed, because you're getting Spider-Man, you're getting Gran Turismo, you're getting Horizon, you're getting GTA. But I think overall it was a very, very strong show.
It was super strong because, think of all things considered, like you don't have the same effect that you have when you're in a live audience. You're broadcasting the room almost like in a show in that way, right? There's a different level of showmanship that you have when you're announcing the future of your next gen consoles, and this
Mhm.
will be remembered in the history books for what the unique year that it has been.
Yeah.
But like, for what they did, for what they had, you've got to be really proud of the incredible work that went into this. You can tell it was not just loosely thrown together. A lot of hard work went into this presentation. It was very well organized. The production value on it looks really good. I mentioned that too. It didn't look like it was a Skype call or something. Like, these guys look good.
Bro, so that Angry Joe mentioned it, because
Yeah.
I watched his reaction, and it was other Joe, but he said it's like, man, this like definitely way better than Microsoft Show. Microsoft Show was like a Zoom call and
Yeah.
like a Zoom meeting.
And threw some graphics under, and
That was so weird, man. And I think
yeah.
so that was Microsoft flexing, because I know for a fact that they were using Teams and they were flexing that work from home Teams thing, right? Um, and but it was not good.
It didn't look good.
Like some of these guys, like it really looked pretty terrible. So yeah, very unfortunate.
No,
Uh,
but this was really cool. The production
yep,
value on this looked solid,
yep,
and I
very
loved
well
at the
done.
very end, before we got to the grand reveal of what the console looked like, that really cool compilation of all these various developers saying that there is more. I think that was a really great way to end, because it's like, you've seen this stuff, but you've not seen it all. Like, there's so much more coming, so much more in the works.
So look at this contrast. When Microsoft did their thing was it last month or two
Yeah,
months
a month
ago?
ago. Yeah.
Um, when they did their third party thing and they showed the slide with, oh, and this is the third parties that we're working on, and they put the logos of the companies. Sony put the people that are working on those games for those developers, and that, like, that contrast to me was like, damn, dude, that was real good.
Yeah.
That was real good. Just, humanizing the developers, and it's like it was. So we basically got the big picture with all the companies, right? But instead of getting company logo, we get a person.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It was really good. So overall, I think it was a great show. Can't wait to get more info. I know that we're probably gonna get more info next month. Microsoft's gonna have their first party thing with, Halo, Gears, and Forza, and, and,
Oh
and
my
then
goodness.
they're gonna announce price, and then Sony's probably gonna announce price. So I'm expecting to see price next month. I don't, now that they really thrown this wrench in this in the gear, and they announced this all digital edition, or this digital edition, or whatever they call it. Do you think this is gonna be cheaper?
I do, because how much does, like, from a manufacturing standpoint, like adding that disc reader, like, I'm not saying it's a crazy amount, but like, it's gotta
It's like,
create some ease and access of just from a standpoint of just literally laying a flat easy to develop thing versus having to assemble this extra piece into there. I feel like that's got to count for something. I'm not saying it's going to be ridiculous or
It's,
anything, but you
uh,
could be talking about $50 at least.
yeah, it's got. I think it's like $20 to add a drive like that, uh,
Yeah,
like a 4K drive.
right.
$5.99 for the digital, and I mean, yeah, $4.99 for the digital, $5.49 for the one with the disc.
Hmm.
And I'm
I
gonna
could see
close.
that.
And I'm gonna close it. That's gonna be my final prediction for pricing. The controllers are gonna be 75, and that the camera's probably gonna be 60. The headset's probably gonna be 150. The media remote's gonna be like 30. The charging cradle's gonna be like 25. Maybe that's gonna be my. And I'm going 75 with the controller because the Wii the Switch Pro controller,
Wow.
it's $69.99. It's $70 for that controller.
Yeah.
So and this thing has more tech than the Wii.
The
Again, the
Switch.
Switch. Oh my God, why am I thinking Wii?
Hope it's in
Oh, you know what
2007.
it is? Is that this thing vertical looks like a freaking Wii?
You're right.
That's what it is, Joe. I'm looking
The
at it.
Wii
I'm
is
getting
back,
I'm getting
guys.
confused. All right. Well, uh Sega. so so last week we talked about Sega they're having a big announcement on the same day that the uh PS5 reveal was going to take place last week, but turned out that it was a total dud in my opinion. I was getting too excited. Um and they went ahead and announced a Game Gear Micro. Game Gear is probably my least favorite Sega console. And
Wow.
then this thing is so this thing is even this thing is too small for my daughter to play on.
It's literally for a baby, like a literal
It's
baby.
tiny. Um, they're making 4 color variations. It's gonna cost around $60. 30 games on it.
At that
Game Gear,
point, it's not to play it, right? It's just to have the nostalgia of having this thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, I don't think this thing's gonna do very well here. They may sell it in like a limited uh thing, right? In Japan because of nostalgia, it may do better, but it's just this was like supposed to be a revolutionary scoop by Famitsu. Famitsu, what the hell? It's like
Huge
dumb.
letdown.
Just yeah, it was a huge letdown. I mean, there's a few Game Gear games that are okay. The Shinobi game was fine. I think those Sonic games were okay. I think I played the first one. Um, But other than that, I really don't want to play anything on Game Gear, dude. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
so big dud by Sega. The other thing that they announced was that they are using some of their arcade infrastructure for cloud computing, whether or cloud gaming, what they're calling fog gaming. I'm not too familiar with what's going on there, but it's basically that Japan has Sega owns a pretty big chunk of the arcade infrastructure in Japan. Arcades here are died years ago, at least 10 years ago. They arcades here in the U.S. died like 3 times already. They died in the 80s. They died in the late 90s, and they died again in the mid to late odds. So um we have nothing basically, but Japan still has a very robust arcade infrastructure, and arcades are very very popular. So Sega owns a big chunk of that, and what they're doing is that they are turning some of that arcade infrastructure into data centers. um To what extent, I'm not entirely sure. I really haven't looked into the info, but it is very interesting nonetheless. So,
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, looking at that, I you sent that over to me. I was like, oh, I could see that being something that you would be interested in.
yep. The other thing, this one's a good one from Sega, is that Alex Kidd in Miracle World is getting a remake. It looks very good. Looks very good. Very cute. Alex Kidd, of course, was Sega's master, Sega's mascot when the Sega Master System was around. And basically, to compete against Mario. Again, very hit and miss because all three Alex Kids there's two Alex Kidd games that came out uh, in the US. Um, wait, let me rephrase that. Alex Kidd in the Miracle World and Alex Kidd in the Enchanted Castle uh, were was it Enchanted Castle? I can't remember. Anywho, the first two were real Alex Kidd games. The third one was an anime that got made into a game, and they released it in the U.S. as an Alex Kidd game. And the fourth one, which was known here as Alex Kidd in Shinobi World, was like Kid Shinobi or something in Japan. So, we basically got there were two Alex Kidd games for realsies on the Sega Master System, and then we got on the one on the Genesis that is an awful game. It's just not good. But Alex Kidd in the Miracle World is actually a pretty good game, which I played extensively. I finished a couple of times. And it looks very good. Like the graphics are really cute. Looks like the music is there, and uh, um, hopefully it's not as slippery as it was back in the Master System days. But overall, this game was actually really good. I think it's out there in some of the compilations. I think it's on the Switch on like a Sega, as one of those Sega classic things. I think I saw it for like $3 or something. I mean, worth checking it out. Um, but yeah, it looks cute. Looks good.
Nostalgia strikes again.
Yeah, I played this game a lot when I was a kid, man. I mean, considering that when I was 7 8 years old, I really really played this game a lot.
Yeah.
So
No,
I'm
it's
kind of excited for that.
yeah, PC, PlayStation, Switch, Xbox. I mean,
Well, it's going out for everything, kind of like Streets of Rage, which I haven't finished. I'm on the last level.
I saw,
Uh,
man, you're getting your trophies for that.
yeah, I'm on the last level. It's good. It's good. It's
Nice.
like that last level's hard, man. It's challenging. Um, it that game's fun. It's fun. I like it. I like it a lot. So
Streets
I'm
of
gonna see if I can
Rage.
finish it over the weekend. The other thing of note that I want to talk about this week is that during IGN's summer game event that's going on right now, Arcade One Up revealed a few more of their uh, reduced sized arcade cabinets, and there's one that I want to talk about because we need this collection on real hardware. Like we need it on PS4 or wherever. And it's this X-Men versus Street Fighter one. That's X-Men Children of the Atom, um, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom, and there's another X-Men game here. What is this? This is confusing, dude. The way they're actually showing these pictures. Uh, hold on, don't go anywhere. Is that the X-Men arcade game? It's not. Like the Konami one? It can't be because this is a Capcom cabinet. Huh. There's two different X-Men games here, Joel. I don't know what this is. Interesting. Anywho, but they have another one that has 6 games. That has Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, um, Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, and Marvel vs. Capcom. It's the X-Men game for SNES. Mutant Apocalypse. It's a good game. It's a good game. And then the other one has Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems, which is not as good as the X-Men game. The X-Men game is better. That's what it is. So it's the SNES games put in with the arcade games. Yeah, and I wanted to talk about this one. They are coming out with a Miss Pac-Man and a Marvel virtual pinball machine as well, which looks really cool. But this cabinet with the X-Men versus Street Fighter stuff and Marvel vs. Capcom looks so good, man. And I am so tempted.
All right, it's gonna end up behind you.
Bro, I wanted to get that TMNT one.
Oh yeah,
I can move this stuff somewhere else.
move it down.
Yeah, I can move this there. We'll see.
I get another call with Obed, and Obed just said, "Hold on 1 second."
Yeah. Well, I still got my fight stick here. It's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Street Fighter. RIP. RIP my career. I wish that would have gone better. But I want to talk about this ones because they look very, very nice. Like the cabinet itself, both of them, especially the Marvel versus Capcom one, just looks very, very clean. I really like it, Joe. So yeah, I mean, what do you got to say about this one?
Yeah, looking at it, honestly, I'm not somebody that doesn't appeal to me the same way that it appeals to you. But I gotta say, I totally think this is a really cool announcement, man. It's one of those things that I could see you having, and I would be very happy for you, my friend. It's a very cool timing as well.
Yeah, I wonder why they won't release this on regular hardware.
Yeah,
Like
that's
on
a good question. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, clearly there have to be some sort of arrangement with Capcom.
Oh yeah.
When Capcom's putting these games out there, so why not put a versus collection and have these games come out again? They should definitely do that. Yeah, that's all I got, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's all I got too. I mean, at this point, we'll see what comes out of these announcements from this PlayStation event. I'm sure there will be much more that begins to drop now as we simmer and digest all that's happened. But yeah, guys, like we said before, double the content you guys got. You waited a week.
I gotta say it. I gotta say it every time, man. You gotta say it.
Come on. Oh, that's great. No, it's so make sure to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and check out that video if you haven't already. It's really cool. So it's our PS5 live reaction. Also, make sure to subscribe, of course, to our podcast version. We're on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Also, want to invite you to follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. So follow us on those social media platforms. We'll stay in the know. And then, of course, you can send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Sony, if you want to send us some test kits for PS5, we're happy to just, do some science.
We'll review it.
So for sure. But again, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. And we look forward to being with you on our next episode.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you again next time.